I know it's like so nerve-wracking. You're like, because John was doing so much at the church. But what you're going to see in the weeks and months to come is leaders rising into that, and you'll have to temper yourself to not overextend yourself to try to fill all those gaps. All right, hey guys, Brian O'Day, Executive Director of the Praetorian Project, and I am joined by
Joshua Brown, pastor, Pillar Church of Topsail.
Pillar Church of Topsail. Good deal. Give us a history, brief history. Pillar Church of Topsail, North Carolina, East Coast of North Carolina. Closest town people not from around here would understand is maybe Wilmington.
No, way north of Wilmington, though.
Yeah, north of Wilmington. But
Yeah.
Brief history of Pillar Church of Topsail.
So myself and Paul Bailey were pastoring here at Pillar Church of Jacksonville, and the Lord aligned many different things, if you remember, in 2020 for us to go out there and plant Pillar Church of Topsail. And there was a window of time. The actual start date is a little squishy, but we went down there and started about 4 years ago, and here we are, just slowly, organically growing as of November of 2020. And we have had some ups and downs, as most military churches do.
Yeah.
And we have since brought in people into eldership. We've been sending some people in eldership, something I'll probably talk about later. Paul's gone on a deployment. He's going on another one soon. And we are celebrating all sorts of fun stuff, but that's how we got to where we're at now.
Yeah, in your story, you spent a little bit of time in the Marine Corps.
Oh, yes. 20 years.
20 years in the Marine Corps. Really started planting the church your last, year and a half, 2 years in the Marine Corps?
Yeah, I was at about 18 in,
Transition, retirement, and then now full-time pastoring.
Yep, that's
right. Beautiful. Love it. What are we celebrating these days at Pillar Topsail?
Well, can I do celebrating and...
Yeah, my next question's prayer requests, so you could do celebrating and prayer requests. Prayer requests can be praises or like, hey, Lord, we really need this. So either one. Okay,
so our celebrations are also our requests for prayer. So I'm just going to lump those in if that's okay.
Yep.
So we are celebrating sending out John Tullison for Pillar Church of Fayetteville.
Yep.
Super excited about that. Him and Jonathan Baggett linking together. He is living there now. We did our sending service. We ordained him. All of that is set and ready to go. It's beautiful and wonderful seeing them starting to be able to be in the same location together. It's so important to plant that way. Some things are starting to come together for that, so it's really exciting. On the same token, though, because of that, we're also supporting that. We also lost John Tullison, and he was our main music guy. He was one of the pastors of the church and helped out with so many different things. So prayer for us to see some of those voids filled. And I think they're starting to come to fruition. A lot of people are coming out of the woodwork. We talk about it all the time. When people go, there's a hole, and then other people get to fill those spots, and they get to grow because of it. So prayer for those things to happen.
And actually, if you don't have that outlet where leaders are sent out, then it doesn't allow that upward mobility of other leaders to kind of rise into those spaces. And so it's really, I know it's like so nerve-wracking. You're like, because John was doing so much at the church. But what you're going to see in the weeks and months to come is leaders rising into that. And you'll have to temper yourself to not overextend yourself to try to fill all those gaps. But
absolutely.
So there's a prayer request. Pray for Joshua to not try to fill in all of those gaps, but to watch and prayerfully see other leaders rise up to that.
Yeah, that's right. And in the midst of this, we're also bringing on and voting in a new elder come in January.
Great.
And then at the same time in January, Paul is going on another deployment.
Yeah.
So we are we're just in this like flux time right
Yeah.
now of leadership, and so prayer for stability, and for people to be raised up well would be great.
Good, good. Any other prayer requests?
There would be one on the side, I think. We have been blessed to be in the community center. It's not what you think of as a community center, though. It is a metal structure in the middle of a field. It's more like a fairgrounds than anything else.
Yeah. It's more enclosed than a pavilion, but there's not much more than you might have in a nice pavilion with a nice stage. And it served you well.
Oh, yes.
For 4 years. But you're gonna say you would love.
The prayer request would be that either improvements come to the space soon, or that we find a new place soon.
Yeah.
We are, yes, it is. It's been a blessing. It's been great. If we end up staying there for a long term, that's great too. But yeah, I think long term, we're gonna have to figure something out.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Childcare space is really difficult there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Metal buildings aren't great for rain. Dirt parking lots aren't good for when it's wet, and that kind of thing.
That's good. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Joshua. If you've listened to this video to this point, please take time. Just stop before you scroll on or do whatever else you're going to do with your day. Take some time to pray for Joshua Brown. Pray for Pillar Church of Topsail. And while you're at it, go ahead and pray for Pillar Fayetteville as well. I know many of you are well accustomed to praying since we have wrapped up our 31 days of prayer. And so here's a few more prayer requests for us. So pray for Joshua Brown, pray for Pillar Topsail, pray for Pillar Fayetteville as well. Thank you guys so much.